So I've got everything prepped now for the album, to cover the album. Well, I pretty much have done it. I've been through the paper and I've made a list of what I want to do on each of the pages for the album. So, and also then I've also stuck paper in with the different provinces. You're going to make this album obviously to fit whatever you've done. You might not go to all the provinces, you might only be going to some of the provinces, so you will only want obviously to include those. So let's put those to the side. Let's take these out. Or let's just leave them like that for now. So we're going to work on the front of the album, and I'll be bringing it backwards and forwards. So front of the album, what I had decided to do was matte this page matte in the red. Look what it does. It just pops and it picks up the border. Okay, so I need to keep these because these have got all my crib notes on. So I will be able to write notes for this one because there are page numbers, etc. So I've also used the 49 in Market. I've added the 49 in Market paper pack. That Wanderlust. Just a bit worried that there's not that many embellishments, but let's see what happens. Right, so just going to, I think this is probably a, it's not rouge, it's the other red, crimson. I'm expecting a courier delivery any minute now. Oh my goodness. Sorry, my phone is going in the background. I'm arranging, finishing off goodie bags and stuff for our weekend away coming up. And stuff is being delivered and going to pop that to the side. Look how it pops, just that little border of red. It's incredible how it just pops it because it pops the borders. Then I'm going to use this brown on the front and I'm going to line it up on this side like so, and you can measure it, or you can be like me and just use a pencil to mark where it needs to be cut. Actually, I'm going to do it there. I'm going to grab such a nice paper to work with. It's got such a nice feel to it when you cut it. I'm keeping this off cut because I'm hoping it will fit around the corner, which it does. Alright, so that's not me, I promise. I'm thinking on this one that I would like to use my distress tool. Okay, so just going to distress around the edges. I'm going to add some tape. Again, I'm going to just create some little zips to make my life easy. I think I may have turned that the wrong way, but I mean, do we really care? No, because we're not going to see much of it. We're going to add this. So I'm going to keep it all pretty central. And I'm just going to bring my tape in a little bit in case I want to tuck some bits and pieces. Just going to pull this off and eyeball it. Alright, so that's what I'm going to be working with on the front. Then on the side, I'm going to put that offcut. I'm going to pop it here. What I'm thinking is that I'm just going to trim it down a tiny bit. It's just a little bit too thick, so I'm going to cut it down to 2 inches. The spine is 2 inches, but because of the gap and with the fold, it makes it slightly thicker. So again, I'm just going to distress all the way around the edge. And I'm going to prep it ready to stick on here. But I want a ring pull. So I'm going to prep this. I'm not going to stick it on because I need the ring pull to go on. So I've just done that so that I can pop a piece of extra strengthening. I just want to see if I've got a ring pull here. I meant to bring some in with me. Seems like I've got everything excepting a ring pull. Oh, but look what I did find in my stash. I found, and you need to go through your stash and have a look and see what you can find, because I found a little camera, and I found some other little bits and pieces. I'm going to have to go for a little walk and go and get some, but my ring pull will then fit over here. I'm going to strengthen. Why I put that piece there is that I'm going to just strengthen it. So I'm just adding a bit of strengthening by adding this cardstock. Just add 2 so that the ring pull has got something to attach itself to. Okay, and then also what I'm going to do, whoops, wrong side. So I've got this on my mat, so that's 1 inch all the way around, and if I go roughly there and there, I should have it, could measure. Got a little hole at 1 inch. And this is not really a piecing tool, but I insist on using it to make holes, and every time I do that I pull the thing off. I don't know, I bought this in to see what it would be like, and as nice as it is, this, the first time I used it, the end fell off, so it hasn't been my best purchase, and it was quite expensive as well. So oh, there we go, this is coming out. So as cute as it looks, I wouldn't get another one, to be honest with you. Maybe I got a faulty one. Okay, so this is now ready to go on. Once I've got the ring pull, which I'll go and get quickly now, it is ready to go on the album, to add a few bits and pieces. So I'm just going to pop that to the side, and we're going to open onto the inner cover. So the inner cover I have prepped over here. Just got to read my own handwriting, and sometimes that's quite tricky, you know. So I've used, for this one, I have picked out this 49 in Market DWE 30303 called Wanderlust Travel Memories, and I'm going to mat the page with it. So I'm going to do exactly what I did on the front. Pencil, where art thou? Remember, you don't ever want to go over the fold, because it will come up. Okay. And these, I'll tell you what I'm cutting these to. They're roughly cut to Oh, can't see. There it is there. Yo, can't see my pencil line. It's cut roughly to 9 3/4 inches. So it's roughly 9 3/4. Let's open the bottom. I actually prefer working on the bottom than the top. It's about 9 5/8 by. Let's see how well it fits. It's roughly 9 5/8 by 9 5/8. And we're going to stick with the distressing on this one. Sorry, I hope that's not hurting your ears too badly. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the second map and I'm just going to place it on here. This one I have not used. I have not used a mat. I'm not matted it, but I am going to just distress all the way around the edge, and I'm going to turn it into a simple pocket. So the idea with this is that you could keep maps and stuff in it. So I'm going to do the pockets on the side. So I want it on this side. So I'm just going to use 1/4 inch tape. Bum, bum, bum. And I'm going to put it just around 3 sides. You could also use some 1mm foam tape, which would give you that 1mm height, if that makes sense. So I'm just putting it around the edge of 3 sides, so it's open on this side. Alright, and then before I stick this down, I'm going to cut a piece of acetate to let's get a measurement for you. The acetate is going to be cut to, let's make it 10 inches. So it's an A4 piece of acetate. So I'm just going to cut it down to 10 inches. And then I am going to score on that 10-inch side. I'm just pausing my video while the dogs finish barking at nothing. So I'm going to score at 9.5 on the 10-inch side. Alright, so this is all of the inner cover prepped so far. This is going to be folded over, and we're going to tape. Just want to put the little pin in my glue. We're going to tape this in that 1/2 inch section. Okay, so I am going to attach this sort of centrally. Gosh, I love acetate, but man, everything kind of sticks to it. I'm going to attach this further to one side. Because remember, let's attach this first and work with this. Remember, we've got a little pocket to one side, so we want to be able to get to their pockets to put stuff in, have a space to put it in. If that makes sense. We can also, if you want to, just do a rough fold, and I kind of like the 1 3/4 inch. So you'll see on my 1 3/4 inch I've measured a line, so that line is kind of to there. Alright, so it's level, so that I can make little notches. Oh, it's so hard to see with that. So where I did that fold, where I made that fold, I'm just going to put a little line, and I'm going to eyeball it. It's easier to work on this side than that side, and I'm eyeballing it and lining up that side with the line and this side with the line. Okay, so I've taken a notch out of it. Hope I haven't taken too much out of my... Okay, and then I'm going to pop a little bit further over so that this is available to put stuff in. I could have maybe made that a bit smaller, but hey ho, I don't mind it so big. Before I put it down, I'm going to add this on top, like so. Actually, let's just do that. Oh, I picked it up without it. So I'm lining it up so it's over, pretty much over the map. And then I'm going to fold it over. Okay, my idea behind this is that you can plot, kind of roughly plot where you're going, like have a little, use a little Sharpie or whatever. So like Durban to wherever, to wherever, to wherever, to wherever, and have it on here. If you use a non-permanent, you're able to wipe it so it's almost like a whiteboard, and then at the same time you have space to put information and stuff that you might want here. So this is prepped now. I am going to tape it down. Going to use a bit of my book binding tape, glue as well. Struggling to get this one down. Okay, and my hot glitter glue is almost finished, so I guess it will be some Tombow. blue Tombow is quite nice to use because you have that little bit of wiggle time to get things perfect. Okay, so there's page or inner cover done. So we've done our outer cover and our inner cover. This one we're going to put some bits and pieces on. This one we're going to use to plot our journey. Right. Okay, so this one we're going to create just a really simple pocket page. We've got this piece which I've turned to the side, and I'll put tape top and bottom. Okay, so we're creating just a space to tuck. Just going to stick that down. And then what we are going to do, I need to keep these because these have got all the measurements on as well. What we are going to do is I'm going to trim off. Actually going to turn it to the back, and I'm going to trim. Oh, it's just too small. That's annoying. So I'm going to trim off just a strip of people on that side, and I'm going to turn around this side and trim off a strip of people on this side. And by doing that, okay, so I've got a strippy and a strippy. By doing that, I should technically be able to fit that here, which I can't. See if I can pop it underneath. No, so I'm going to have to cut off a little bit more. So I'm going to cut off, I'm just eyeballing a little bit on that side and about the same on this side. Probably a bit too much now. Okay, and I'm going to stick this one down. Oh, before I do that, hold your ears. So I had planned on sticking this down first before I closed. Oops, I'm a little bit too far down. And then what I thought of doing was adding some people. But I'm not 100% sure, so I'm going to leave those to the side because I also have this piece which kind of ties in with that. I'm going to come back. I don't know if I love that, so let's come back and do it later. And this is why I love using tape, because tape sticks right to the edges. Okay, so there, page 1 done, and it's got like a pocket. I have page 2. So now you are going to mix and match these according to how many photos you've got. So if you are only going to Cape Town, the Karoo, what else have we got? you're going via the Drakensberg, you've only got 3 cities you're visiting. You're not going to use all these other maps and stuff. You're just going to use obviously the places you're visiting. Okay, so we are going to do Cape Town first. So here is page number 2. And there are all my crib notes. I am going to use this light cream. So this is a solid sheet from the Wanderlust Explorer. It's DWE 30372. We're going to use that as our page mat. So let's cut that and stick it. And I'm going to make it so it goes pretty close to the edge. Let's see what it measures. So it's roughly, let's make it 9 1/8. Let's make it 9 1/8 by 9 1/8. That will give us kind of a standard page size. Okay, keep these bits because we're going to use those a little bit later. Yeah, 9 1/8 by 9 1/8 is a good size. What I might do is off camera go through and just cut and distress all my base pages so that you don't have to listen to me doing that and having your ears hurt. Okay, so that is going to be my base page. Alright, and then we are going to work with this baby. Okay, so what I want you to do on this one is I want you to take your ruler and your craft knife, and you're going to cut just along the top and just along the bottom. I'm thinking that we need to go all the way through to in line with the edge. Okay, so you could just cut along there and you've cut along there. Okay, we then need a piece of acetate, which I'm going to get. Give me one sec. Okay, so I've got a plain straightforward piece of A4 acetate, and I'm going to cut this acetate to it's going to be 5.5 inches. So I'm cutting it short ways and cutting it. I'm going to cut it to probably just under 5.5 inches. Because what I wanted to do is I wanted to be able to fit in there and fit in there. Okay, so I need to cut it down just a fraction more. So let's make it 5 3/8. And I want it to fit in there. And there, like so. Okay, so what we have got now, effectively got here, is a space to slide a photo in. So we've got the ability now to change up the photo. So all I want to do, oh gosh, these dogs. All I want to do Let's just add a piece of tape. I know I'm doing it on the wrong side for now. I'm just going to turn this around, so don't stress, it's just bear with me. Oh, these dogs are another story. I wish I had a soundproof room to work in. Okay, so we have now cut it. We know it fits. So now I've taped it. So the taped side, this is the taped side, the top, not the underneath. We are going to pop through and through. Okay, and we're going to line it up. There's a nice little piece on the back here. There's a double line that you might want to line yours up on. Piece there. And there. So we now have it taped. Oh, I could have gone over tiny, but I've gone a little bit crooked. So it was straight on this side. So when you do yours, if you're doing the same as me, just look at it from the front. I lined it up on these lines at the back thinking they were straight, but actually I'm not straight with it. Okay, so just make sure you line it up. We've now effectively created a pocket that we can put, let me show you, let's use the red. You can put in a photo mat and you can change it up. Okay, or you can use it just as a belly band. Then the second thing we're going to do, I'm thinking that it would be nice to just seal this off with something. So let me think. We have these little offcuts from our album. I'm just trying to think how to reinforce this. So I'm going to cut a piece to, let's remember this size. This is 8 7/8. So let's just cut it to 8 3/4. And then I'm going to cut it into, how much is this? This is 2 3/4. I'm going to cut it into 1 3/8. So 2 strips. Okay, and I'm going to attach 1 strip over there and 1 strip where it comes through at the bottom. This is just to reinforce it, okay? So it doesn't matter which way up you put it. It's to stop it from tearing. You don't want it to tear. And we're going to do the same on this side. Okay, so we've got that little bit of reinforcement happening there. Okay, quick. And then before we stick it down, we are going to do a pocket. So to add those photos. Remember those photos that you're now going to be popping in here? So we need to be able to store them so that you can change them out. So we are going to add, and this time I am going to use the 1mm tape. So we want it, they're going to come through on this side, so we're not putting tape there. Okay. Okie dokie, so we've got that going there. And that on top of it. So it's just a small mat all the way around. I suppose you don't have to put the space paper if you don't want to. It will look just as good if it's just grass. The kraft, I presume. I don't normally use the blue Tombow, but it's actually not too bad for sticking these mats down. Okay, and then we're going to have this so that the photos can stick out. Do we need a little? You can have a small notch. Maybe you should not eyeball it like me, because mine's not going to be perfectly centered. Okay, so that's the start of page 2, and with this you've got your space to put your photo, and you've got space to store your photos underneath. So just something fun. We're going to head on to page 3, and for this one I wanted to add extra pages. So we have got this one, and we have also got this flap. So I had thought that we could add that to the flap. So I'm going to center it like so. In fact, I'm going to turn it upside down so that I can center it. Get a nice nicely centered border, and I'm going to put a mark there and a mark there. We could move it over a little bit, and then we'd have this entire piece so that we can use. I'm not going to for now. and tape from there to there on the mark. Going to position it so we should have the tape in the correct place. Yep, we're not going to see any tape sticking out. And we can still use that as a page mat. And then we're going to cut this little guy to, what did we say it was, 9 and, I think it was 9 1/8. Let me check the measurements. Eight and 7/8. Okay, and then from the left hand side we're going to score at 8 7/8 and at 8 3/8. So 8 3/8 and 8 7/8, so it's a 1/2 inch score. Okay, 8 3/8 and 8 7/8. We're going to struggle now to see what we've scored. So I'm just going to fold, and then I'm going to add a piece of tape. Let's use I'm using the 10mm tape. The dogs are really restless today. I can hear dogs barking all over the place. Okay. So pretty much centered it before I stick down, and I forgot to do it on that one. I forgot to do it on that one. Silly me. Okay, let's just check. It's like so. There's a nice border. Stick that down. Okay, so we've got space then to add photos that can stick out, and we've got space to flap and add extra photos as well. And then of course we've got the photos on this side, and then we're going to think of something to do here. I'd originally said I was going to flap this one as well, so that we could lift this, and there would be, you'd be able to put a photo, like just a single photo there. I might change it up and take some of the tape off so we can still do that. It hasn't yet stuck. Let's see if we can do that. So I've just scored it 1/2 inch. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly remove these 2 pieces of tape using my undo. Not ideal to do it this way, is it? So you'll notice I put the undo on the back of this. It soaks the paper slightly. Oh, that piece hasn't got enough on. And it allows it to lift easier than putting it from the other side. You can't always do it. There we go. But I'd say that was successful. And now we are going to just, I think we're going to pop let's pop this down. I'll cut that to size. Let's pop this over. And I could have popped this down first, or I'm just going to do it now. Could have done the whole piece. Oh, and I forgot to, I had the page off and I thought I was going to, I'm so sorry, I was going to distress it. I don't even know if I'm going to stick that down. I'm just going to leave it there in case I want to do it later. Okay, so we have got space now for photos because we can add photos going across. We've also got this little flap over here where we can add more photos, and we've also got the back of this flap, which, where's that piece I cut off? Could fit possibly in here. I'm going to leave it at that for now. I will come back and continue with that at a later stage. So that would be Cape Town. We could add quite a few photos there, and I'm going to end this video because it's close to an hour. So that's given you the front cover, the inner cover, page 1, page 2 and page 3.